In this episode, we're going to look at Django 1.7 migrations. We're going to take a look at the changes from 1.6 to 1.7 in Django, where migrations are now included in Django instead of using the South package. An extraordinary amount of work has gone into this, and it has been a great inclusion. So first, let's take a look at what we normally do. In Django 1.6 and previous, we would take our app and we would do a normal sync DB. It would create a bunch of tables for us, and you would get a list out of those. You get to do some super user settings, blah, blah, blah. This is our normal process. Well, in Django 1.7, things have changed a bit. So if we'll switch over to our 1.7 environment, and we'll do a manage py start app shows, then we're going to actually get an application, and if we'll ls our app, we'll see a migrations folder has automatically been created for us. And this is where our migrations are going to go. For Django 1.7 and on, migrations are going to be a default part of your development process. And for a while, there's going to be some backwards compatibility with being able to run a command and it create your application models on the database without having to have migrations. That is actually going to go away in Django 1.9 as of right now. So migrations are the future of how you're going to create your and alter your tables in Django. So the next step that we need to look at is, well, how do we actually run our migrations? Well, like with South, we'll do manage py, migrate, and that's it. What it does here is it starts off and synchronizes all of our unmigrated apps, like the admin, the content types, auth, and sessions. And those are the apps that we have that don't have currently any migrations in them. Then we go and synchronize and create all of the tables like we would normally do if we did a sync DB, and it creates the tables that we actually created earlier. It gets to the end of the process and says, hey, there's no migrations that need to be run, so it doesn't run them. So let's go ahead and take that next step and create some model data in our shows models. And in this case, we're creating a show model with a title, description, and whether the show is currently airing. Super simple stuff. And then from there, we'll do a manage py make migrations. And then the output says, hey, these are the migrations that have been done for the shows application. The number is 001 initial, so showing the initial creation of the migrations. We no longer need to do a make migrations initial for like we would do with South, because it already knows what's going on. And what it does is it is going to create our show model. And then from there, we'll just run a migrate again, and we get out our response of operations to perform. It's going to apply all of our migrations for the current apps, and in this case, it's just shows. And the migrations that it's going to run is our 0001 initial. And we get our OK back. And that's it. We have added a model, added fields to our model. We've created a migration and run those with Django 1.7 successfully. Go ahead and add a little more to our models and take it the next step. We're going to create an episode. It's going to have a foreign key relationship to show. It's going to have a couple of other properties. Again, we're going to do a manage py make migrations on shows, and it's going to create our 002. It detected it needed to create an episode model. And then next, we'll just run our manage migrate shows again, and it's going to run our next set of migrations. Let's go ahead and ls our migrations folder. And we'll see we have initial and episode. And that's it. I mean, that's really all there is to using the new migration system over the old sync. So expanding on this a little further, if you want to upgrade your current application to using the Django 1.7 migrations, and you're currently using South, then according to the Django documentation, all you really need to do is delete all of the stuff in your migrations folder as long as it's up to date, and then run make migrations and then migrate that. And what's going to happen is Django is going to detect that all of the migrations data, all the migrations tables have already been put in place, so it's just basically going to do the fake that would normally happen and we would need to do in South. So that's super simple to upgrade to Django 1.7 migrations. Another interesting piece of information is with how our migrations are running now, each migration actually has a required field in it, so it's going to tell, hey, this migration is actually required to run this migration. The benefit of this is the numbering no longer really matters like it did before. You can actually have multiple migrations with the same number name as long as the requirements and the dependencies that is set in that migration are set correctly. And with that, that's really it. That's really all there is to say for now on Django migrations in 1.7. It's super simple, super clean interface, and there's only going to be great things to come in the future for it.